Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers. On this episode, there's another Shattered Glass Autobot in the works. We get some behind-the-scenes designer info on the upcoming Studio Series 86 Arcee figure, and Hasbro and Takara surprise us with a Masterpiece Skyfire reveal. Today is Wednesday, June 8th, 2022, and this is episode 489 of Transmissions. Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that just can't seem to keep the entire team together for more than one show at this point. I'm your host Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmission scene, Scott, the illustrious Dr. Pants.
Hey, everybody.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
I'm always here. Let's talk Transformers.
And we appreciate it.
Is that what you appreciates about me, Charles?
Yes. Old, reliable Daryl. As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. We really appreciate your continued contributions. It helps keep the show going and helps us keep the lights on. So we really appreciate that. As always, you can get all the perks for being a Donatron on our Patreon page. And if you'd like to become a Donatron, you're not already, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. That's where you can sign up. We always got lots of bonus content, particularly for our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. And that's all available from our Patreon page. And you get entries into all our contests, and at the higher levels, you get some merchandise, regular merchandise that's coming your way, and some folks should be getting some merchandise very soon. We saw that in Patreon. Some folks are getting stuff. So it's lots of good things. So check it out. This week, we have the next episode of Empire of Rust. This is going out on the free feed for everyone, so everyone will get a chance to listen to this, and it should already be available for you in your podcast feed. It came out Monday, June 6th, so as you listen to this, you should already have access. This is Empire of Rust episode 77, The Spark Awakens, Part 2. And this is the final chapter of the Vault of Stars storyline, so this is wrapping everything up before the team goes off into a new adventure as they return to Cybertron. So check out this final episode that ties everything up in a nice little package before we jump off into a new exciting adventure, and look forward to that. Okay, let's get into this show and start off with some toy news.
All right. And, this week, the news sites and social media was dominated by, pretty much one thing. And that was the release of images and pre-order information for the newest Masterpiece figure, Masterpiece MP57 Skyfire. So we started off the week by getting rumors, possible Masterpiece Skyfire first color images. And these were, kind of grainy and covered with text and stuff like that, as you tend to get out of Japan. Then possible prototype images. And this one here, these images must have been the most broken frickin' prototype I've ever seen in my life. This was possibly the worst figure to, quote unquote, leak out, because it was missing a foot. It didn't seem to want to hold together all that well, but it kind of got the point across. You could get a sense of scale out of it. And that was probably the only benefit of having those images. Then we finally got the official images released, and we got the pre-orders. So MP57 Skyfire is coming. We got pre-order up for it. It's looking to be late January 2023, and it is beautiful. It's massive. It's official. It's got the name, Skyfire, and we are looking at it here. It's coming with, I believe it's I'm not looking at all the images right now. Oh, there they are. Okay. Yes. So there, it's coming with 3 mini figures. So these figures are non-transforming, obviously, but I believe they're articulated. I think they are, because they they show. Yes, so they are articulated because they can kind of move their legs and arms and stuff to interact with Skyfire here. But you get Optimus Prime, Jazz, and I'm looking here. I think it's Wheeljack. Where's the picture of those figures?
Yeah, it's Wheeljack.
Here? It is. Okay, good. Okay. They're so small. I lost the picture. So yeah, so you get Prime, Jazz, and Wheeljack. Very tiny little mini figures to interact with this large Masterpiece figure. And you get 3 additional faces. And one of them is the kind of the toy face, although he's coming with a blue visor instead of the red visor that the toy had. And you get his gun, some blast effects, some parts to make a stand, and for jet mode and stuff like that. And I don't know what that other piece is. Has anybody got a guess as
that clear piece next to the stands?
Is it clear? Yeah, I guess it looks like a claw. Yeah,
it's probably an adapter for when it's either in robot mode or jet mode for it to plug into. Oh yeah, if you actually look at the picture where it's in jet mode on the stand, you can see the clear piece. It's actually attached at the top of the stand, so it's there to hold it in jet mode.
Oh yes, okay, yeah, I gotcha. Cool. All right, so there you go. It's just part of the stand. Right on. The other thing you do get is interchangeable insignia plates. So you've got the Autobot one that probably going to come attached to him. You've got a blank one, and then you've got a Decepticon one as well. That's really awesome. So you can do the thing like it happens in Fire in the Sky, where he switches allegiances, which is just cool. This is really awesome. So the pinnacle of Masterpiece Skyfires has been the Fans Toys Phoenix for a number of years now, and there have been others that have come into that have tried. They've all kind of failed, and Fans Toys Phoenix has just maintained its stranglehold on that character for quite some time, including reissuing itself. And all the subsequent reissues have all done very, very well. I see this Masterpiece Skyfire. I don't know whether I see it unseating or replacing the Fans Toys Phoenix, but it's a gorgeous looking Masterpiece figure. And when you see it standing next to, you get a really good image here with the Skyfire with the Masterpiece Ironhide, the new Masterpiece Bumblebee, Masterpiece 44 Optimus Prime, and Spike. One of the crappy little Spike figures that comes with one of the Masterpiece guys here. This thing looks incredible next to all of them. And I'm really impressed with what they've been able to do here. He looks great. He looks great in jet mode as well. So I'm really quite impressed with this. So the price they're asking here is 38,500 yen, and that is the pre-orders that have started showing up have got this guy at I just had it up and I just lost it. Give me one sec. And yeah, so Big Bad's got him up for $268.99 American. So that's pretty good. I kind of expected him to be, much, much more expensive, easily into the threes. But so he's pretty cool. I want to go around here and talk about this because this was the biggest news for the week. And let's start with Dr. Pants. Dr. Pants, first of all, do you have a Masterpiece scaled Jetfire yet?
No, and I never planned on having one.
Okay.
I like Jetfire / Skyfire. Actually, I'm quite partial to the original toy because it was that Robotech Valkyrie, and I love that design. But his cartoon design was really cool too. I have the Commander Class Siege one, because I always wanted a toy of that figure, and he looks really, really cool. This looks great. If I was in for a season 1-2 G1 Masterpiece collection, I would most likely get in on this. I love all the stuff it comes with. It looks just like it jumped out of the cartoon. And you talked about Fans Toys Phoenix. I think this looks better than that. I think proportionally this looks better than Phoenix does. And it's cheaper than Phoenix by like $100. But it's like, I'm not in for this personally because I'm not going to spend almost $300 on this figure. I've got the Siege one. I'm perfectly happy with this. I do think it looks better as a masterpiece, but it's pretty cool. I will say a couple of things. I'm a little disappointed that they gave it interchangeable plates for the insignias rather than like a gimmick where you could just, rotate it, kind of like the Siege one had, because I feel like you have less of a chance of losing pieces then. I mean, I'm sure everyone's got a place for accessories and whatnot, but the less you have to worry about, the better.
But in the cartoon, he did just change a plate.
This is true.
Yeah, they are big on the cartoon accuracy now. They want you to be actually able model your figure holding the plate in his hand as he switches it out.
That is fair. That is fair. I do love that they gave him one of the interchangeable faceplates is, of course, the toy accurate like faceplate, which has shown up in the comics, and even the Siege toy had it and everything, so that's really cool. I prefer that. The other thing I'll say is this guy's huge, and he's bigger than Masterpiece Starscream, and yet he's cheaper. That blows me. It's $5, by the way. It's only $5 cheaper, but it's cheaper than Masterpiece Starscream. And what are they going to recolor this into? Nothing.
Shattered Glass.
How many Masterpiece figures have gotten the Shattered Glass treatment? It's just Prime, isn't it?
Yeah, but
okay.
they're going to do it. They're going to do it.
Maybe.
Is Shattered Glass a thing in Japan? Like, do they care about Shattered Glass at all?
I don't think they do.
Yeah, that's a great question. I have no idea. But this looks really cool. I'm really happy for anybody who's doing a G1 Masterpiece collection, because we're getting a new figure, a really, really crowd-pleasing character, and it looks really good. This is one of the few Masterpieces I've looked at lately going, wow, this looks great. And if I was in for the collection, I would. But sadly, I'm going to pass on it.
All right. Well, Charles, it's a G1 figure right out of season 1. I mean, Fire in the Sky, I think, was episode 7, right? Like, I mean, you're in the top 10. You're in the first 10 episodes of this show. And, I mean, I think, you have to correct me, but I think he was the first character to die, in the show. I mean, he didn't die long, but,
to die and then be immediately resurrected in the next episode.
Exactly.
Being dead.
It was a pretty somber way to end the episode. Like,
we shall remember. What? Could you remember how to use a shovel and dig him out of the ice? I mean,
he's right there. He's right there. He's probably just banging on the bottom. Like, guys, I'm right here.
I'm not dead
yet. Guys, I'm not dead. Let me out.
We will remember him. No, don't remember me. I'm right here. But this is a pretty, I don't know. He's not I wouldn't call him an A-list character, but he's definitely got to be in that B level where he's, he was the way that the Autobots got around, in season 1. So if they needed to get to the other side of the world, hey Skyfire, and they all climbed in and they just took off, even to space. So yeah. What do you think of this guy here? He's like Dr. Pants said, he's straight out of the cartoon, and he looks good, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you could also say like Skyfire was kind of the first real world toy toy trademark confusion / disagreement casualty. Like, the only reason he was really phased out of the cartoon was because there was a disagreement with his toy, since, Harmony Gold and all the, with the Valkyrie, the Valkyrie being from another toy line, and they didn't want it used in Transformers. And yeah, I mean, part of it was that's why they so radically redesigned his animation model for the show. But apparently even then they were like, well, since we already redesigned the animation model and we can't really sell his toy anymore, what's the point of still having him on the show? So just phase him out. And so, yeah, I mean, he could have been an A-lister if his character had got a chance to stick around past, I think he was still around in season 2 a little bit, but he got phased out pretty quickly. But anyway, I do like Skyfire. I mean, one thing that blew my mind was that Greg Berger also voices Skyfire, which was, it's such a different voice from Grimlock, so it's really cool that Greg Berger has such a great range. I always thought he was a cool character. It was, and his toy, having a toy representation is really, that is really super animation accurate. I've kind of been annoyed with some of the newer Masterpiece figures for getting so ridiculously slavish to the animation models that, to the point of like doing crazy engineering transformations just so that it looks good in both robot and vehicle mode. But I think since Skyfire is not based on a real vehicle, they can get away with doing his animation model right without having to do so much crazy engineering. That's probably why he's not as expensive as Starscream or Optimus Prime. So I think and the accessories are really cool. I like all the little accessories. I like the miniature Autobot figures, the blast effects, the different symbol plates, badge plates, the faces, and the little stand so you can display them properly in jet mode. That's all cool stuff. I mean, I've moved away from Masterpiece collecting because it's just, in addition to the cost and the cost just to collect the figures, it's also a space issue of where you put all these figures. And I think I'm tapped out for Masterpiece figures now. So I think it's great that they did this. I hope people are Skyfire fans should be happy with this guy. I would like to eventually see the comparisons between this and other third-party figures. Like you guys mentioned Phoenix. I would like to see a side-by-side comparison of this with Phoenix to see how they compare. And I'm sure we'll get that eventually when this guy is out. But yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I was also quite surprised when this came out. I don't remember if we had talked on the show about rumors of Skyfire coming along, but it seemed like this guy came out of nowhere for me. Maybe I just forgot about it, but like we had no hints before last week that this was coming, and it just dropped. So I think that's cool that Hasbro and Takara are able to surprise us with figures once in a while.
I do remember them kind of teasing it in a silhouette, and it was a while ago. So I mean, I don't know whether Dr. Pants has any kind of date on the tease, but it's been a while. It
was an episode I was on because I remember actually talking about it with you guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, I just forgot.
It was a while ago, and it was just a silhouette tease, and there was no hint at when it was coming out or what it was, anything about it. I forgot to mention one other thing with the minifigures. I hope everyone's happy. You got a Masterpiece release of Jazz.
That's true.
Boom. Now we can stop complaining. We can all put something different down on the survey every year.
And did anyone notice how well those little figures are painted?
Right?
So yeah. They could give Spike and Sparkplug or Spike and Daniel faces if they wanted to.
Yep. They just don't want to.
It's because they're not robots. Human faces are hard. Robot faces are easy.
Even animated faces? I mean, the Spike and Sparkplug's animation models are not super detailed. It's not like you need photorealistic human faces. Mm-hmm. Eyes, nose, and a mouth. I mean, it's
Well, this is very cool. I'm very happy for everyone who's looking to get one of these. Like I said, I've got a Phoenix from Fans Toys right now, and it's a beautiful figure. So I'm probably not in the market for getting an official Skyfire, but it is a really great looking figure. The only other kind of question I have is this is another big expensive figure that's 90% white, and right now I am terrified of white plastic coming out of the main line. So let's hope that they get this shit figured out with the white plastic before all this stuff kind of, shows up and we have problems with it, because I cannot imagine you spending this kind of money, because people who are buying this, there's going to be a lot of them that also put down for Victory Saber, And, can you imagine buying both Victory Saber and Masterpiece Skyfire and they both yellow on you within the first little while? I would be livid. I would be absolutely livid.
You just gotta get a dark room for your Transformers. If you maybe used to be a photographer, an amateur photographer, you develop your own photos. You use that dark room for all your white Transformers. Just keep them in there. Never put any light on them, and they will never yellow.
There you go.
There's also the chance that might be painted, because from what I understand with a lot of the new Masterpieces is like everything's painted. Everything's got a coat of paint on it, so it might be white paint.
It could be, and let's hope for that, because man, I can't imagine the anger that people would be facing or putting up if they bought this and it yellowed on them. So let's hope for the best, because that scares me, the yellowing of white stuff right now. So, and this guy's really white, but that's it. That's all I brought to the show this week. Dr. Pants, did you find something?
I found something. You guys talked about this a couple of weeks ago, expecting it to get announced, and it didn't. But now we officially have the announcement of Shattered Glass Blaster. So this is the Transformers Generation Shattered Glass Collection Blaster, and it's a recolor of Kingdom/Legacy Blaster with, is it Rewind or Eject? It is Rewind. He's done it in Shattered Glass color, so instead of being the red, yellow, and black, it's now kind of a grayish, light blue, black, and like a dark blue, purple, indigo color. Rewind is done in translucent red plastic with black limbs. He's actually not all translucent plastic like the normal release is. And he's got his faceplate painted with the same light blue as Blaster's chest. He's got that beautiful purple Autobot logo on him, and this looks really good. I love the paint job on this. I love Shattered Glass Blaster. He comes with all the same stuff as the regular release does, and most likely a comic, which we have a picture of the comic cover done by Casey Collar, right? Because Casey did all the normal covers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
he did all the covers that were in the releases for the toys.
Okay, yeah. Right. So we have a picture of that.
From Pulse. Only if you order from Pulse.
Only if you order from Paul's?
Oh, okay.
Pulse. I thought you said Paul's. I was like, who's Paul and why am I ordering my toys from him? Pulse.
Good guy. Got to order from Paul.
Well, I mean, if Casey's giving all his covers to Paul, I guess so. I trust him. Anyway, I think this looks really good. I have two complaints. I would love to have this version of Blaster, but I already have a regular one. I'm not collecting Shattered Glass, so I'm going to skip out on it because I don't need the figure a second time. And also, where are all the Shattered Glass Decepticons? Why are we getting almost nothing but Autobots? We've had 2 Decepticon releases. We've had Megatron and Starscream. Like, they keep releasing Autobots. I want a Shattered Glass Soundwave with the headband. Is that too much to ask for? Apparently, but anyway, let's go around and see what you guys think. Charles, I know you love Shattered Glass, so you're definitely in for this, right?
My absolute favorite.
But you like Blaster.
I do like Blaster, and that's why I bought Legacy Blaster and showed him off last week. So I am not in for another Blaster. I just bought a Blaster. I prefer Rewind to Eject, but I would prefer like a normally colored Rewind. So I mean the Legacy / Kingdom Blaster comes with Eject, while the Shattered Glass comes with Rewind. But it's an evil Rewind, so not the Rewind you want. It's not the Rewind you're looking for. But the color schemes do look nice. I mean, it's a very it's well done. I do, and it's a nice curiosity. But yeah, I'm not into the Shattered Glass toys. It's a repaint too far for me. So for everyone who is into it, go for it. But I am curious about the comics. So I mean, this has to mean that one of the issues of the comics is going to be focused on Blaster. So curious about that. But I do agree with you, Dr. Pants. Let's get some more Decepticon Shattered Glass figures in there. I mean, we've got to. This is the 6th Shattered Glass figure. So that means there's 7th. Okay. So that means there's, I guess, 5 more to go. So let's make at least 3 out of those 5 Decepticons. Can we commit to that, Hasbro? Probably not, but we'll see, I guess.
I honestly don't even know what Shattered Glass Decepticons they would do at this point, but when it does come to recolors of Blaster, I'm waiting for the Twin Cast recolor. I'd love to see that. But Daryl, I know you love Shattered Glass, so you must be picking this up, right?
No. I can appreciate it from afar. It's a very cool looking, color palette, but I can easily skip this. I don't really do any Shattered Glass stuff, and but it's a very cool looking figure. There is 3 more unannounced Shattered Glass figures though, so you might get some Decepticons in there, and I kind of figure Soundwave's going to be one of them. So it's a very popular figure. So it looks good. We know it's a good figure because the blaster, the regular mainline blaster, is a very good figure. So, if people are out there and they really want to, they're really into Shattered Glass and haven't been able to find blaster for whatever reason, then, maybe order this one instead and get your blaster this way. It's a great looking figure, and, 2 birds with 1 stone at the, with getting your Shattered Glass blaster.
All right. Well, that's all I got. So Charles, what do you have this week?
All right. Well, I think maybe this happened when I was out. I put Studio Series 86 Arcee was announced. I think you guys, Daryl, at least Daryl and Jeremy, might have talked about it on the show while I wasn't here. Do you guys remember?
I don't recall. We talk about a lot of stuff when you're not here.
Okay, well, if you haven't heard it before,
I don't think you guys did. I don't remember you talking about it.
Well, if you haven't heard it before, it's new to you. So they just announced Shattered Glass, or no, not Shattered Glass, Studio Series 86 Arcee. It is a retool of the Thrilling 30 Arcee, which is interesting. And so you can order it actually on Hasbro Pulse. It's a deluxe figure, but with inflation and everything, it's now $25 US. I think, it's still got kind of a big backpack going on, but I do like the fact that her chest does turn into the front of the car, and so it's not like a complete shell former like the more recent Siege Arcee has been. So that's better. But we also got some notes from one of the Hasbro toy designers. So this is Evan Brooks on his Instagram. He talks about how he shows some side by side comparisons with the Thrilling 30 Arcee and some of the changes they made to the design, the toy design. In particular, they gave her another some more articulation, another point of articulation on her torso, so she can now do like an ab crunch. She's got some different coloring, like her legs and are shaped a little differently to look more like the 86 movie character. And I think it's a nice representation of Arcee. He also mentions she has a Gare Walker mode, so just like Masterpiece Skyfire. So they're twinsies. But yeah, this I think this is the head looks very much like the animation model. It is a little thin, like the arms and legs are a little thin, but I think I'm hoping it matches up with the size. If you put her next to like Studio Series 86 Hot Rod and Cup, that she's of a size with all those characters. So I think it's a good Arcee. Daryl, what do you think of this figure?
I think it looks really good. I was in my local EB Games, which is it's called GameStop now, and picking up what I'm going to show on trips to the store. And they mentioned that, did you see that new Transformers pre-orders went up? And I said, I don't generally miss stuff like that, but what are they? And he said, well, we've got a new RC. And I'm thinking Studio Series RC. I'm like, I've probably seen it. And he said, oh, it's this, it's from the 86 RC. And I was like, 86 RC? I said, I don't know anything about that. So they actually were the ones to tell me about it at the store. So I pre-ordered it at the store while I was there. So, yeah, I had no idea that this thing had actually happened until I pre-ordered it. I'm kind of a blind pre-order. I'm like, oh, if it's Studio Series 86 line and it's an RC, and it's going to look pretty good. That being said, I have the Thrilling 30 version of this, but from Takara, which had it had the same kind of paint palette that the Studio Series one is going to have. So it didn't have those black bits that the Thrilling 30 version had that you can see in that one picture. So everything was a much lighter color palette and really looked much better, than the North American version, I thought. Now with these new engineering bits that they've done for Studio Series, I think it'll look pretty good. I hope so. The ones they're showing off here in the prototype really do look good. And the transformation definitely does look better, and yeah, I think it'll be a good figure. Arcee always kind of gets the shaft when it comes to the transformation. It's a tough transformation to kind of pull off, so I hope I hope it satisfies the Arcee fans out there. Just because it's a tough figure to kind of get right. And I think it looks good, for what it is and what it was going to be originally. Like if the prototype from 86 had actually been released, then I think people would be much happier with the ones that they're getting now. So, but I like it. I think it's good.
Cool. Dr. Pants, what do you think?
Well, when they originally announced that they were doing a Studio Series 86 RC, I was just like, ugh, they're just going to release the Earthrise / Kingdom one all over again. But I'm wrong. This looks way better, because I've got the Earthrise RC sitting in my 86 shelf with all the other ones, and I would rather have this in a heartbeat. It's kind of a nice little midpoint transformation-wise between the Earthrise one and the Thrilling 30s one. Because it still kind of has the shell of a car like the Earthrise one, but there's definitely more transformation to it. The chest becoming the front of the car. That's cool, but her thighs don't have to be gigantic to become the sides of the back of the car like the Thrilling 30s one. Which, man, I remember that Thrilling 30s one being really, really good when it came out. And now looking at it side by side with the Studio Series 86 one, just something's wrong. Something's off. I think it's the thighs. I think it's the fact that it's got the protruding abdomen going on there a little bit with the gentle curves to make it look organic, and I don't like that. It's weird. It's weird. But this looks really good, and I'll probably now be switching out my Earthrise one for this because it looks better. And I'm glad to see they actually painted the lips on this one, because they didn't do it on the Earthrise one. They didn't do it on the Thrilling 30s one. But Arcee's got red lipstick on. She needs that. Also articulate.
Animation accurate.
Exactly. I'm not a huge stickler. I don't need all the accessories for every episode a character was in, but I want him to at least look like the cartoon or movie a little bit. But articulation-wise, she looks great. And also, thank God her gun is an actual color rather than a translucent whitish color like the Earthrise one. That was weird. But no, this looks better. I'll definitely be switching my Earthrise one out for this.
And I do like that her gun is based on the gun she had in the 86 movie. I do remember that scene near the end of the movie where she's inside Unicron's belly and she's firing at those, little claw thingies. And it looks like it's like a, Dirty Harry Magnum 45 gun that she's firing steadily. And then eventually she breaks open the ceiling and all the water gushes out and everything. But that she's handling a pretty beefy gun there. So yeah, Arcee is a badass. She's always been a badass.
I just wish she got a badass toy sometime.
Maybe this is the one.
I'm not holding my breath, but I'll believe. I'll believe for you, Charles.
All right. It doesn't have to be for me, but I'll take it. It's okay. All right, well, that's all our toys, so let's move on to trips to the store. This is where we show off all the cool Transformer stuff we got this week. We do this as a video so you can see everything we got in beautiful high definition, but we'll have the audio right here in the show so you can keep listening as we describe everything we got in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
All right. Well, let's jump right into the stuff we got this week. I'm going to go first because I don't have a lot of stuff this week. Just comics. So I already talked about Beast Wars number 15. That's what we're going to review this week. Little shiny there. But yeah, Beast Wars number 15. This is the John Jennings cover. You can see Optimus Primal and Megatron surrounded by the Vok, if the focus comes in there. So yeah. Of course, Beast Wars 16 is already out, so I have that as well. And that continues the story. I think the last issue is 17. I've also got the Beast Wars Annual, which you guys reviewed a few weeks ago. I wasn't here for that, but I think we had the writer Nick Marino, one of the stories in this annual, wrote in to thank us for reviewing it. So that's cool. And something Daryl I know is happy to see. This our Last Spot Standing, the special IDW exclusive cover. I forget the artist's name, but this is the online exclusive cover that we really enjoyed. We talked about this a few episodes ago, how cool this cover is. I ordered a copy for myself, and I ordered a copy for Daryl. So,
yay!
Daryl, you will be getting one of these. Little as Jeremy mentioned last week, it's a little disappointing that they don't use traditional bags and boards anymore. So that's a little weird that they just skimped on that. It seems like this shrink wrap packaging is a little bit probably cost more than just bags and boards. So why didn't they just go with the regular bags and boards? But it is what it is. But yeah, this is a cool cover, and glad I got it. So that's all the stuff that I got this week. I'm gonna pass it over to Daryl.
My store, I didn't mention it on the show, but they had mistakenly forgotten to give me my copy of Last Spot Standing. So when it came out, when number 1 came out, I didn't get a copy. And I looked on the shelf and it had sold out. So I was like, guys, I'm like the Transformers guy. You got to remember that I want a copy of this book. So he said, the guy said, well, I'll get it. I'll order another copy for you and we'll have it for you in a couple of weeks. I said, okay, that's fine. And because I'm there all the time, I didn't make a big fuss other than burning it to the ground, which I did. Anyway, the book came in and I finally did get my copy of Last Spot Standing number 1. And it is, the Alex Milne cover that I did want. So, I do thank my store, Heroes here in London for getting me the cover that I did want. So really great cover. Alex knocked it out of the park as he's known to do. So not really surprised. It's a great looking cover. So the toy I got this week that I alluded to that I went and picked up is a Studio Series 86 figure that has shown up everywhere and has finally started coming in at EB/GameStop here in Canada. So went and picked it up, and it is Starscream, Studio Series Starscream. And I've got this figure. It's the 86 figure, the Earthrise figure, just dressed up a little bit with a new hat. The Earthrise figure with a new hat. So anyway,
and new hands.
That's right. He does have new hands. So I popped him out of the box just for the show here. He looks good, but I think his head might actually be a little darker too. His face, I'd have to get them side by side to look, but he does look. He looks pretty good with all the accoutrement on him for coronation. But the real reason I bought this entire thing because I wanted the chair. I wanted this stinking chair, the first ever mainline chair, and I wanted it, so I bought it. This is an expensive damn chair, but it's going to look great with all the other Decepticons that I could have sit in it. So yeah, I got it and it looks good. And it's got some storage on the back like they've shown for other stuff, but I'm really happy to have the chair with my Starscream. So Starscream looks great. The cape is a little, whatever, but it's plastic. I assume at some point there, one of those add-on companies might come up with something that'll give him a cloth cape. But the shoulder pads and the crown, that's the real piece that you want for this, and it does add enough to make him look really good. So I'm happy to have this. I've got a bunch of other pre-orders still waiting. They're coming in like at a snail's pace for EB here in Canada. So I'll eventually get some stuff in from them. I'm in no real big rush. I'm more concerned with finishing off that guy, my Radiatron. Move your head. There you go. So he's up there now, and just waiting for the rest of the guys to come in. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got this week. Comic and Starscream.
What are the weapons that are on the throne if you've already got the weapons on the Starscream? Do he come with 4 weapons?
He does. So he comes with a different set of null rays that attach to the shoulder pads because they are they're a little bit more it needs something a little different because they're so tight to the shoulder pad. So they actually do give you another set of null rays for it.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. So you can do a little point with him, and it looks pretty good.
Who disrupts my coronation?
Exactly. It's cool. I'll get him into a pose at some point and just put him up and maybe take some pictures of him, but that's about it. I really just wanted the chair.
It's a cool chair.
All right, we will come to the end with Dr. Pants, who I've heard has a significant amount of figures to show off this week.
I had too much last time, so pretty much a lot of them just got saved for this time. But first one I'll show off because Daryl already showed it off. I also got Studio Series 86 Starscream. And I already had Earthrise Starscream, so why get this? Because I'm more of a movie fan than I am a Starscream fan, and I need a Starscream from the movie because he's significant.
You needed a chair. You needed a chair.
Actually, what I really wanted was him to be able to do this because the cape does unfold and he can throw his arm out and the cape will flap out like he's throwing his arm out and throwing the cape. And I think that's really cool. Like, yeah, it is a plastic cape, but that's a cool effect and I kind of love it. So he can get in some cool poses, but yeah, so
DJ Ronan is proud of you for supporting the Legion of Starscreams.
It's what I'm here for. But I will be selling my Earthrise Starscream because I don't need it. It's the same one. So anybody needs it, hit me up.
DJ Ronan will be buying your Earthrise Starscream for the Legion of Starscreams.
Okay, fair enough. I did also pick up Legacy Iguanus because it's a pretender, and we never get really cool pretender figures anymore. And this guy's awesome. I love the core class figures, like weird little purple lizard robot who turns into a motorcycle, and he's really posable. Like he can do some pretty cool stuff for how tiny he is. So that's a lot of fun. He goes with my, what were they? Prime Masters were the pretenders a couple of lines ago. Yeah. And of course he doesn't scale with them at all, but he's there. He's got a place to be. Next up, I got a bunch of figures from Editor Mike, and I showed off one of them before, and that was Cybertron Jetfire. But the other ones I got from him, I got Energon Slug Slinger for my Unicron Trilogy collection.
It's a terrible figure.
Why is it terrible?
He's impossible to transform.
I have transformed him back and forth multiple times. He is easy to transform. What are you talking about?
He stays in alt mode?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
It all clips together. What are you talking about?
Maybe I've just had broken ones because they're just. It seems to be a terrible, terrible figure to transform.
It's not.
Dr. Pants, we have an opening for Toy Guy on transmissions if you're interested.
Getting the axe live on camera.
I mean, if you're going to pass out positions, I'll take number 1 Beast Wars fan. But...
Oh. Yeah, I'll make you buy that one.
I don't know if you can afford that position, Dr. Pants.
I already got the taco tank. I got the taco tank. I'm in this. No, I will say this, Daryl. This figure is not like an intuitive transformation. Like, I feel like every time I do it, I have to relearn it, but it does stick together. It's just weird. It's a really weird transformation. But, you know, I like it. It's different. And it's not one of the combining Autobots, so its transformation it doesn't look completely terrible in either mode. He looks pretty good in robot and in jet mode. The other figure I got from Editor Mike is I got me an Energon Scorponok, and he is complete.
Cool.
He is just fun, big, and chunky, and I love it. Just love it. There aren't many Energon figures I really wanted, but I always wanted a Scorponok, and I can never find one complete. So shout out to Mike for hooking me up here. I got 2 more figures to show off. One of them, I raved about this when they announced it when I was on the show, but I did find one at my local Walmart. I got the reissue of Beast Wars Cyber Shark, and I am just so damn happy. I love this toy as a kid, and man, oh man, the fact that they released this one aside from others, I'm just so happy with. Look at that face. How can you not love that toothy grin? Are you gonna, nope, you're not gonna focus. That's okay. But he is cool. I mean, his chest flips open with the little hammerhead, and you can just not fire anymore because the spring is crap now. But he's got little missiles in the back there, so you can put those in his chest instead. And
it's safe now.
Yeah, I don't want safe toys. I want to fire a missile across the room and lose it. I want to feel like a kid again.
You want Boba Fett poke your eye out the missile launcher.
I do. He's got his little tail weapon that, of course, is spring loaded and it's a little hacksaw thing. This is just pure nostalgia. I love this toy so much, so I'm happy to have this in the Beast Wars collection. And another pseudo Beast Wars figure is I got Beast Machine's Dinobot Striker, who is a repaint of Beast Wars Neo Saberback. Yeah. Is that the name? Yeah, Saberback.
Oh.
And he is like 50% gold plastic.
Don't breathe on him.
He's okay so far. He's okay. There's one peg that did pop that broke, but otherwise
one of the side panels.
Yeah, it's one of these side panels.
Yep. Yep. There's like 4 of them at the store, and each one of them have one of those pegs on the side panels that's broken off.
Yep. But
Saberback figures heavily into the Beast Wars comic we're reviewing this week.
Exactly. So it felt like a good time. And also, like, I love this stupid weapon, the tail, it's just his tail. He's just holding his tail, but then you pull it back and...
Don't do that too hard. Don't do that too hard.
It's fine. I sat here doing it before the show. He's fine. How great would that have been?
That crumbles to dust on live on camera.
I just pull it back and it just explodes. It does say on the TF Wiki that despite the fact that he is heavily gold plastic, these things haven't disintegrated yet. So yet, but that's what I picked up. Also, apparently he has a secondary mode where he's a dead Stegosaurus with a flower growing out of his back, and that's what the tail's for. I don't know. I haven't done that yet. I haven't really transformed it much. He's just gonna sit on the Beast Wars shelf with everything else. But that's what I got.
All right.
Nothing terrible happened. We're okay. Toy's still fine.
And that will take us to the end of this week's Trips to the Store.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
We're back from our trips to the store, and we will finish up the show with a little bit of convention news.
All right. We have one bit of convention news, and that is Hasbro toy designer Andy Cousins. I think I'm saying that right. He's going to be at TF Nation 2022. He worked with Hasbro a while back. He started with Kitty Craft, worked then with Milton Bradley, Play School Robotics, but he was with Hasbro Europe, and during his time, he oversaw the release of several Japanese toys in the European markets, including the likes of Overlord, the Motivators, and the Power Master. So a lot of the stuff that we did not see over here in the States that was only in Europe, and the Generation 1.5 stuff. So he'll be there at TF Nation 2022, so if you're going to be there, go check it out. Go talk to him about this kind of stuff. But that's it. That's all we got.
All right, and that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions. As always, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrons because they are the ones who support us at our highest level on Patreon, and we really appreciate them. So that's why they get a shout out on every episode. So thank you so much to John 4X Levengood and Demon Tech 82. You guys are awesome. And another person who is awesome is Dr. Pants. Thanks again for hanging out with us. And why don't you tell everyone where they can find more of your awesome content online?
Well, thank you, Charles. And it's always a pleasure to be here. I always love hanging out with you guys. You can find me and my friends doing all our stuff at Nerdstradamus. Nerdstradamus.com. You can go to that website, find us everywhere. But we are mostly on the Nerdstradamus YouTube channel where most of our videos get posted. We also stream there. As it is right now, we stream Fridays around 7, but that may change as me and my co-host are now off for the summer and have all the time in the world to play video games. Also, my other correspondents might be streaming, so check that out. But we are all video games and fun and music and everything, so please come check us out in Nostradamus.
All right. And that will do it for this episode. Thanks everyone for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.